Hey everyone, we are back again with your real estate market update for the Central Texas region. Apologies for the hat hair. Everybody said that my hat kept giving my face shadow in these videos, so I wanted to make it a little easier for you guys to see me. So let's take a quick look at the important numbers before diving into our market. And then we'll do a quick featured story from the Austin Business Journal to take a look at how the Austin real estate market has been impacted by foreclosures over the past year. So, first up, as always, we will start off with the numbers. In the latest update, interest rates have dipped to 6.6%. I think they're hovering at 6.69. I'm recording this a day after checking, and they've gone up slightly. But the Federal Reserve has indicated the possibility of up to 8 rate decreases by the end of 2025. The initial adjustment could potentially occur within the first quarter, or after the first quarter, the second quarter, I should say, of 2024. Now, it's important to note that as rates decrease, prices will increase. Prices went up a total of 3% last year, roughly 3 to 4 depending on the area of Austin, and the same is expected this year. But if rates drop quicker than expected, that number can accelerate quite quickly. If you remember the rate drops during the pandemic era, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Lines around the blocks to see homes, dozens of offers on each property. You get the point. Now, I don't expect anything that drastic to occur again, but it's important to remember that you can always refinance your rate. You can never pay less for a property after closing. So we have that saying here. I'm not a big fan of it, but it's marry the home and date the rate. You can always adjust that afterwards. It's best to get a lower priced home right now and then get a lower rate later than the reverse. So, market activity over the past 7 days. This is how properties and listings have performed in the past week. We had 859 new properties hit the market. That's a notable surge in new listings. It's pretty surprising that we have so many this early in the year, but that leaves a diverse array of options for buyers, which is good to see. We had 981 price decreases. Those are sellers that are showing increased flexibility with their pricing, and that definitely favors the buyers in negotiations. We had 185 price increases, believe it or not. Those are properties that are getting so much demand and so much traffic that they're thinking, maybe we undershot ourselves here, and they're raising the price. We had 167 properties come back on market. Those are properties that went under contract, and typically because of financing or inspection reasons, they come back on the market, the deal falls through. But they're available now for any interested buyers. We had 1,015 properties go into some form of pending status this past week. These are properties that are now under contract and actively in the process of being sold. More pendings than we had new listings. That's an interesting thing to note. We had 498 closings. Pretty normal that we have a low amount of closings in January because December is the slowest month, and so the market is catching up from December. One thing that we have seen week over week all of January is that there have been more pending properties than new listings. Now, this is a very important statistic because it shows that homes are selling faster than they can be replaced. And that is setting the stage for a very busy market in 2024, probably a seller's market. So that's the numbers. Good recap there. Let's dive into the foreclosure story that Austin Business Journal brought us this week. Very interesting. So in 2023, property foreclosures in the Austin metro area increased by 37%, reaching a total of 1,438 property foreclosures, and that's according to Adam Data Solutions. Now, this rise is attributed to an increase in local unemployment, but it still remains relatively low compared to pre-pandemic recession levels. So we actually historically still have a very low level of foreclosures, even though the number seems to have gone up. Now, Austin's area real estate market did slow, and local observers believe that the trend is more likely due to individual borrow circumstances, not a systemic, I should say, economic issue. And the market is considered healthy overall. I think we can all see that with the numbers. Nationwide, the number of foreclosures increased by 9% in 2023. So we did have a higher than average foreclosure rate compared to the rest of the nation. Now, I'm going to quote here directly from the Austin Business Journal and from their quote from Adam Data because they summed all of this up perfectly. Now, for its part, Adam Data called the overall rise in U.S. foreclosures last year a market correction and not a cause for alarm. The trend signals a return to a more normal and traditional pattern after years of volatility. The company said in the statement that it suggests that while foreclosures activity may fluctuate, it's unlikely to approach the highs that we've seen in the last decade. We still are historically low. Instead, we foresee a market that is more reflective of broader economic trends, with foreclosure filings becoming a more predictable aspect in the housing landscape. So there you have it. The market is back on track. It's chugging along smoothly. We had a huge surge in prices over the pandemic era, a correction of about 15% during the rate increase era, and we've leveled out over 2023, and we saw some appreciation in 2023. And we are really smooth sailing into what looks like it's going to be a very busy 2024. So, as always, if you have any questions about how these market conditions affect your real estate goals, please reach out and we can strategize together and come up with a plan that fits your needs. See ya.